Hi, welcome to the farm. It's another rainy day here on the farm. I love working in the house when it's rainy like this. It's cool, got the windows open. You may hear birds singing, but that's what makes it really nice to work here on the farm. Today I'm going to be canning peaches. I got a half a bushel of peaches from the peach truck. Last Saturday I would love to have gotten a bushel of them, but I knew I wouldn't have time to work up a whole bushel before they went bad. It's just really a lot of work to get that much done at one time. So I'll probably be putting up more peaches later in the year. I'll just buy them locally, but when the peach truck comes around, I try to get peaches when I can. So the first thing I'm going to do is peel the peaches, and what we do is I've got a pot of boiling water on here. In the sink I've got a dishpan or a pan with ice water in it. Here I've got a pan that's got fruit fresh in it. That's keep the peaches from oxidizing or turning brown as long as it takes to peel them. So what I'm going to do, I've got this little wire basket, and so I'm going to dip the peaches in the boiling water for about 30 seconds and then peel them. The peelings will just slide right off of them. Now, if you don't have a wire basket like this, you can just put the peaches directly in the pot and then use just a slotted spoon to take them out. But this just works so well, and I can do so many of them at the same time and get them all out at the same time. I've already washed these this morning. Like I said, I had a half a bushel. About 2/3 of these I'll can just plain in pint jars for grandkids like peaches. Some of them do, and we like peaches. Last year I did get a whole bushel, and I made it all up into peach pie filling. Now that's a job, but oh man, it is so good. And I've still got plenty of that left over this year, so I don't need to do that again. So I'm just going to can them plain this year. So I'll put them down here in the boiling water. Make sure they all get down in the water. And what I like to do is just kind of move them around a little bit just to make sure that they're covered well. That water wasn't quite a rolling boil, so I'll give them about 45 seconds in this hot water. I've got my canner pot ready here. I've got pint jars in this. I'll let these get hot when I get ready to put the peaches in the jar. So what I'm going to do now is just peel these peaches, and then I'll come back after I've peeled all the peaches and show you the process for the canning. So just bounce those around in there just a little more. That water is it's almost boiling. It's just on the verge. Well, I get so impatient. If I could just wait for it to come to a full boil, it would just be a lot easier. But you know how it is. You just can't hardly wait for that. So, all right, almost. We'll see if these will peel well, or if I should have been a little bit more patient. All right. Now let's take these out of the water, put them into the ice water. I'll turn this down a little bit so it doesn't get boiling out of control here. So let's see how this works. Now, the peach truck and many other directions will say to cut a little X in the end of each peach before you put it in, but I never do that. So let's see if these are going to. Oh yeah, see that slides right off of there. Love how, I remember as a kid we used to do these. My mother would actually put the peaches in a big kettle and pour the boiling water over them, and then we would peel them in that pot. Of course, the ones that stayed in there the longest, they begin to kind of get a little mushy by the time you got finished, but you could pick them up and the peelings would just slide off. It was just such a, it was actually fun to do that. I enjoy doing this. I enjoy canning. Okay, got the peach peeled. I'll just make a cut around. These are clean free, so they slide right off of the peeling, or excuse me, right off of the seed. I always trim that little edge off there, put it in the water, and pop the next seed out. And there we go. Nice peach half. Let's do another one here. Oh yeah, see how easy that peels off? Don't even hardly need a knife, just slides right off of there. Oh, these peaches are so pretty. And they're just really good. They're sweet. These are, like I said, the peach truck is out of Georgia. So these are Georgia peaches. See that beautiful blush on that peach? Cut around. Pop it half in two. There's one half. And the other half. Actually, I can cut that. Alright. There we go. So I'll finish peeling these peaches, and then I'll come back when we're ready to can them. Well, alright, we're ready to can the peaches. I've got all the peaches peeled. I've got some of them in a drainer here, getting the excess water off of them. I've got, you can't see this pot, but I've got my canner over here with the jars in it that are heating. I've made a light syrup to go over the peaches. Now, there are two ways to can peaches. You can do what's called raw pack, which is what I'm going to do with this, and that's just putting the peaches directly in the jars raw. Or you can do hot pack, which involves heating the peaches throughout and then putting them in the jars. I've done them both ways. I'm just going to happen to do this turn in the raw pack and see how that turns out. But I've made a light syrup. With this, I've got 3 quarts of water and 5 cups of sugar. Now you can make it even lighter than that, less sugar than that, or you can use unsweetened fruit juice to can with. But this is a good ratio. We like it. It's not overly sweet, but yet it adds a little sweetness to the peaches. So what I've done is I've got a jar here that I've taken out of the hot water, and I'm going to put peach halves in the jar, cut side down. And what I found is I can put most of them in halves and pack them in pretty well. And then the last one I put in, I'll have to put a quarter in order to make it fit in the jar. Okay, there's that, and then here's my quarter. Okay. Can't see that right, so you can see, got the jars, got the peaches in there. Now I'll add the syrup to it. And with peaches like this, you want to leave a 1/2 inch head space. So I've got my measure here. So that's almost a 1/2 inch. Let's get the air bubbles out. Make sure there are no air bubbles. We want to mash these peaches around a little bit. Make sure there's no air bubbles in them. Okay. Alright. Now then I need just a little more of the liquid. It's a little bit too much. Send that back out. And measure my liquid. Alright, 1/2. Then we'll take a dampened cloth, wipe the rim, the edge of the rim. Take the jar flat. I'm using wide mouth jars, so it's easier to arrange the peaches in this. Jar lids today, flats, we used to have to heat these in boiling water. Today they say that's not necessary. I still like to just dip them in the hot water, just a little bit. Alright, and then I'll put them on, and then I'll tighten just finger tight. So I'll take this and put it in the canner. Get another jar out. So these jars are hot, they're sterilized. I don't have any peaches draining right now. Let's get a few of those out there and let them be draining. This is just, it wouldn't hurt to take them right directly out of this water and put in. It just gets a little extra of this water out of them. Okay. Put them in cut side down. And overlap. Set that right there. Might be a little easier for you to see. To place them down in, get them in just as tight as you can get them. Let's put this one in too. And my mother always cut them in quarters anyway, and I really am beginning to think I like the quarters better than I do the halves. But there we go. You can get more in quarters than you can in halves. Fill with the hot liquid. You want to remove all the air bubbles. Now let's mash it down a little bit, make sure we put all the bubbles out of it. Okay, 1/2 inch. Right on there. Alright. Wipe the edge. And you don't have to heat these jar flats. You can use them. Now, I do wash them before I use them, but you don't have to heat them. I just like to heat them a little bit. Put it on. Tighten finger tight. And put in the can. So that's the basics of filling these jars. I'll continue to do the rest of these. Once I get all the jars filled, then we'll let the water come to a rolling boil in the pressure, or not, excuse me, not the pressure, but the water bath canner here. Let's see if I can turn that around. You can see that. Yeah, there we go. You can see the water bath canner there. So, let the water come to a boil and put the lid on it. And for pints, they'll need to process for 25 minutes at a rolling boil. And then once that finishes, I'll turn the timer off and let them cool down and let them set about 5 or 10 minutes and then take them out, and I'll come back and show the finished product. But canning peaches is really simple to do. You can do it. You can go to the grocery store and buy a couple of pounds of peaches and just can some peaches for yourself. As they say at the peach truck folks say, your future self will thank you when you have a nice jar of canned peaches in the middle of the winter. So I'll come back and show that later. Okay, the peaches have finished boiling. They've been processing for 25 minutes like they're supposed to for raw pack 4 pints. I've turned the stove eye off and let it set for about 5 minutes or so, 5 or 10 minutes. So I'm ready to take the lid off. This is, of course, very hot. Always open it away from you to let the steam escape and so it doesn't hit you in the face. Okay, now let's see what these look like. Get a hold of one. There we go. Ah, isn't that beautiful? Beautiful canned peaches that will be delicious this winter. I have to step out of sight of the camera to put them on my table over here. I've got a towel on a table where I put the peaches or anything that I've canned after I take it out of the water. So now with raw pack, they will rise to the top. You can see there's some space at the bottom. They will rise. I think the next batch I'm going to do, I'll do in hot pack and see if that does any better. It's been a couple of years since I've canned peaches, and I couldn't remember which way I wanted to do them. So I'll do the next batch that way, and we'll see how it turns out. But I hope you've enjoyed this little video. I may do another video showing what the others look like or add to this, but I hope you've enjoyed this, and you can can peaches yourself. So I hope you enjoy it. Have a blessed day. Well, I decided to come back and show canning the peaches in the hot pack method. And actually, I think this is going to work out better for me. I'll make a note in my canning book so I'll remember next time. But I wanted to show this so that you can decide which way you would prefer doing it. So everything about the previous steps are the same. We still heat the jars in the water, in the hot water. I have some largemouth and some smallmouth jars to do this turn with. But the main difference is that in your syrup mixture, you put the peaches in there about a layer at a time. So you don't want to put all your peaches in there and staying in this hot water, and they would cook up kind of mushy. So you don't want that. So we'll start with. I've got about enough in here to fill another jar. I've already filled one. So we'll begin putting the peaches in the jars. And as you can see, I've cut these. Actually, some of them are in half, some of them are in quarters, but these quarters are really big. And so they will, you want to sort of place them down in the jar so that they're fitting cut side down. That's just so that they fit in there better. And fill the jar up to a 1/2 inch head space. You won't be able to get a lot of peaches in a pint jar, but there again, if you've got a small family or you don't want to fix a whole lot at one time, then you don't have a lot of peaches left over. You can always can them in quarts if you like. So once you've got your jar or your peaches in the jar, then you'll take the liquid and just like before, pour it in. Take a now this is made particularly for getting the bubbles out. You can use a spatula. You just don't use a kitchen knife like something stainless steel, because you could accidentally scratch the jar. But they make these in kits and they're very inexpensive. This actually is made to do that with the other end and then the measure for headspace on that end, but I don't like dealing with all that sticky on there, so I use two separate things. So let's get all the bubbles out, and then we want to add a little bit more of the liquid till we get it to 1/2 inch headspace. Alright, that's what we want. Then wipe the lid or wipe the jar rim. It gets all the sticky off. Now after, well, let me go ahead and put this on first. I heat these. Remember, I just dipped them in the hot water briefly. Thank goodness for magnets. Put that on there. What I started to say was, and let me pause this. I don't know why the phone rings at the most inopportune time. But anyway, we'll put the ring on it. And now I don't remember what it was I was saying. So, oh yeah, I remember. After the canner comes off, you will want, after the jars cool for 24 hours, then you will want to wipe the jars down, because there will be some sticky residue on the jar. If you don't wipe that down, it will mold over time, and it just, of course, it's on the outside of the jar, but it's just real nasty looking. So you want to be sure and wash your jars off before you put them away. So here's a smallmouth jar. Let's see how this one works. I believe that's going to work just fine. I can't get my spoon down in there, of course, to arrange them as well, but I believe this is going to be all right. And this is going to be just about enough peaches to fill this jar, I think. That's going to be actually just about perfect. One more. All right. Couldn't have planned that any better. All right. Put the liquid over it. bubbles out. Now you need to add just a little bit more liquid. Let's see, maybe just a little bit too much. Yeah, just a little. Yeah, there we go. All right, wipe this off. One of my small flats. And whew, hot. All right, so now I've got to heat a few more peaches to do the rest, and this will not take that long to do because the syrup here is already hot, and so I'll just put another layer of peaches in there, take about a couple of minutes to heat, and then we'll just carry through and it will can just like the other did. I hope this has not been too confusing. If you have questions, please feel free to comment below, and like the video, subscribe, ring the bell so you'll get notification of all the new videos coming on. It's summertime, the garden is starting to produce, and so there's going to be a lot of things coming in, and I may do a lot of videos this summer. So I hope you found this helpful. If there's anything that I can do to help you, again, if you have questions, please comment. If you have suggestions. I'm not a professional cook or canner or video maker, so obviously there's going to be some amateur errors on this, so don't be too critical of that. But I just want to help, and I hope you have a blessed day, and I hope you enjoy putting up things that you and your family can use in the winter time. There's nothing like being good stewards of the many blessings that we've been given. And so I pray you have a great day.